Okay, so today we're going to tackle something that's, well, it's just really, really hard. We're talking about letting go after a relationship ends. It's a journey that can feel super isolating and confusing, but you know what? There is a path through it, and we're going to walk through it together. So let's just start with this core idea. Letting go doesn't mean you have to erase everything or pretend it didn't matter. Not at all. It's about getting to a place where those memories, good and bad, no longer have the power to control your happiness today. It's about making the past a part of your story, not the director of your whole life. And to help you navigate all of this, we're going to use a really clear step-by-step framework. You can think of it like a blueprint, for building the architecture of your own emotional release, one piece at a time.
Every strong structure, every building, it has to start with a solid foundation. And our first phase is all about that, laying the essential groundwork and creating the space you absolutely need for any real healing to even begin.
Step 1, and honestly, this is often the most painful one, it's acceptance. This just means making a conscious choice to stop that endless mental loop of what-ifs and could-have-beens. It's about looking at the situation for what it is and just acknowledging that the relationship, at least as you knew it, is over.
So this right here, this is a huge mental trap we all fall into. After a breakup, our brain just loves to play a highlight reel of only the perfect, romantic moments, right? And it makes us completely forget the real challenges. There's actually a name for this. It's called the fading effect bias. Basically, the bad feelings from memories fade faster than the good ones. So the key is to consciously balance that reel. You have to remember both the good and the bad to get to a place of genuine acceptance. All right, so once you've accepted the reality, the very next step is to create some distance. You need space to get emotional clarity. And here's why. Every single time you interact with an ex, it can trigger this chemical cocktail of dopamine and cortisol in your brain. And that creates this addictive cycle of hope and pain. The whole point of a no-contact rule is to break that exact cycle. So how do you actually create that space? Well, it happens on 3 levels. First, there's physical space. Try to avoid the old haunts for a while. Second, digital space. Mute them, unfollow them. This isn't about being cruel, it's about protecting your own peace. And third, if you absolutely have to be in touch for practical reasons, you set super strict boundaries. Keep the conversation short, transactional, and not emotional. After we've created that external space, our focus has to shift inward. This next phase is all about doing the internal work. Navigating that storm of emotions that is absolutely going to come up.
It is so important to get this. Grief is not some neat, tidy, linear process. It's just not. You might feel this intense sadness one moment, then white-hot anger the next, and maybe even a weird sense of relief an hour later. That chaos, that's completely normal. The goal isn't to control the feelings, it's just to let yourself feel them without judging yourself for it.
So how do you actually process all these feelings in a healthy way? Well, instead of suppressing them, which just turns them into stress, you have to get them out. Let yourself cry when you need to. Journaling is huge for this, just getting all that noise out of your head and onto a page. Another really powerful tool is writing a letter that you never, ever send. It gives you a chance to say absolutely everything you need to say, but just for you. When you're in a deep relationship, your identity starts to merge. The I slowly becomes a we. You share hobbies, you share friends, routines, and a huge part of healing is the process of rediscovering who I is, completely separate from the we. And that's the big question for this step, isn't it? After being part of a pair for so long, trying to rediscover your individual self can feel, well, pretty daunting. But you know what? It's also an incredible opportunity. The whole goal here is to move from that kind of blurred, shared identity of we back to a solid, grounded sense of your individual self, I. It's not about erasing the we, it's about strengthening the I so that it can stand on its own 2 feet again. So where do you start? A great place is to go back to hobbies you loved before you were a we. Or maybe try something completely new. This literally forges new pathways in your brain that aren't tied to your ex. And reinvest in all your other identities. You aren't just an ex-partner. You are a friend, a sibling, an artist, a professional. Put your energy into those parts of you. Okay, after doing all that deep internal work, we can finally start to look forward. This next phase is about embracing the future. It's about releasing those final emotional burdens and gaining the perspective you need to truly, finally move on.
Now, I know this can be a loaded word, so let's be crystal clear about something. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. It is not about condoning what happened or saying it was okay. It's about you making a conscious choice to no longer carry the heavy, heavy weight of resentment. It's about setting yourself free.
I love this reframe of what forgiveness is. Think of it as canceling a debt. Holding on to resentment is like waiting around for an apology that might never, ever come. It just keeps you chained to the past. But by canceling that debt yourself, you close the account. You free yourself to walk away.
And this is just as important. We so often blame ourselves, don't we? For staying too long, for missing red flags, for things we said or did. You have to extend that same forgiveness to yourself. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Self-compassion is absolutely non-negotiable here.
We've all heard that saying, time heals all wounds, right? But it's a little misleading. Time by itself doesn't really do the healing. What time does is give you distance and perspective. And those are the necessary ingredients for healing to actually happen. Look, progress here is not some giant leap forward. It's a series of small wins. You have to notice them. Notice the first time you go a whole hour without thinking of them. Then celebrate when it's a whole afternoon. And then one evening, you'll be getting ready for bed and realize, wow, a whole day has passed. These are your milestones. They are tangible proof that you are healing.
So after all this work, the acceptance, the emotional processing, the forgiveness, we finally arrive at the last and maybe the most crucial piece: how you decide to frame this experience as part of your life story. This is the ultimate reframe. It is so easy to look at the end of a relationship and just see a failure. But what if it wasn't a failed project? What if it was simply a chapter? A really difficult, painful chapter maybe, but a chapter that was necessary to teach you something profound about yourself.
And what did it teach you? It probably taught you, with perfect clarity, what you truly value in a partner. It taught you what your non-negotiables are for your own happiness, and maybe most importantly, it showed you the incredible depth of what you are capable of feeling, both love and loss. And those are not failures, those are invaluable life lessons.
And so that brings us right back to where we started, with architecture. This whole process has given you the blueprint, a deep understanding of yourself, of your needs, of your own strength. The foundation is set. The past has been honored, and it's been released. So the only real question left is, what will you build next?